Scientist Seth Brundle thinks he is about to master a revolutionary concept in transportation, the instantaneous transmission of a human being through space. But Seth Brundle is not alone. The brilliant scientist has instead mastered another revolutionary concept: genetic fusion. He will soon become a hideous mutant. Seth Brundle's bizarre and terrifying metamorphosis is the subject of 20th Century Fox's remake of the 1958 classic, The Fly.
How you doing? Now you tell me. Am I different somehow?
It's a nightmare. I mean, it's a movie that tells a story about a guy who is beginning to change, and he can exercise no control over that change.
All right, quiet, please.
There's a reflection right over her face from this angle right now.
Directed by David Cronenberg, who's known for horrific thrillers like The Dead Zone, Videodrome, and Scanners, this version of The Fly is based on an entirely different premise than the original film.
In the original, a man and a fly basically switch heads, and you have this sort of instant monster created. In this film, when he comes out of the receiving pod, he is perfectly normal, but the fly has disappeared. His body has assimilated the fly, and more than that, it has fused with the fly on a genetic level. And then gradually he begins to realize that he's not turning into a 185-pound fly, but in fact is turning into a creature that never really existed before.
Jeff Goldblum, who starred in The Big Chill, portrays the scientist Seth Brundle. He's on the verge of his scientific breakthrough when he falls in love with science journalist Veronica Quaife, played by Geena Davis.
Listen, maybe this is a bad idea.
Oh, it's too late. You've already seen them. Can't let you leave here alive.
It's a story about somebody who loves life and who loves this girl, and something awful happens to him, and he's gonna die, and he's gonna become something else, and he's trying to make the most out of what his life can be.
You're changing, Seth.
That's silly. That's ridiculous.
Something happened when you went through, Seth. You've got to get some help. I think you must be sick.
You're jealous!
To take out the fact that he has an accident with a fly and imagine that he just gets cancer or some terrible disfiguring disease, and what happens to a relationship when that happens. How do you withstand the pressure and you still love someone, but they're turning into something you don't understand and becoming someone you don't know anymore. Hey, what's this?
It's an attempt to distract me, that's what it is.
No, really, what is this? It's like hairs or something.
Brundle's transformation from a man to an insect-like creature is a slow and insidious one. Chris Walas, who brought Steven Spielberg's Gremlins to life, created each phase of Goldblum's metamorphosis.
We're taking a main character and bringing him from a very, very human form all the way through subtle skin color changes to sores, and creating finally him in his stage that's just horribly degenerated, and then past that to another stage which is an entirely new being.
It does finally get claustrophobic. You could kind of freak out. I mean, you're covered in this thing, and it's exhausting too. Not only you're in this thing and it's kind of very hot, but in part of the makeup, my whole, there's kind of this weight on my eyes all the time, and to kind of see, I have to keep doing that, you know, so it's very, very exhausting.
Seth?
No, up here.
Oh.
Eventually, the creature is able to crawl up walls and across the ceiling. To create this illusion, director Cronenberg had a special set built.
There really is only one respectable way to do that, and that is to build a set that actually revolves. As he's walking, the ceiling becomes the floor. And the camera ultimately ends up upside down with the cameraman, and we have our actor on the, what looks like the ceiling, but in fact is the floor. At this point, the fly is very messy, and he likes to eat things that are sugary and sweet, and so we have donuts and decaying rolls and all kinds of stuff all over the place, and all of these have to be nailed and bolted and glued down so that when the set turns upside down, everything just doesn't fall and reveal what's going on. So it's actually very, very tricky to do. So I would say the detailing of what happens to the relationships and to this man physically and emotionally I could tell you about it for days, and you still, I think, would not be prepared for what happens to him in the film.
It's your turn.
No, I don't want to try that.
Okay. That's it. You're going to like it.
I don't want to. I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Please help me.
Okay, stand by, ready, and fire. Okay.
Actors Jeff Goldblum and Geena Davis didn't know what to expect when they learned that they would be working with the internationally acclaimed horror filmmaker, David Cronenberg.
I got the idea that he was had a kind of a personal interest in and vision for these weird and bizarre and horrible stories.
People ask what he's like because he's made these kind of gory films. And they think, wow, is he just crazy or a weird guy or what? But he's the opposite of what you might think. He'd be like very calm and laid back and like a nice, regular guy.
This nice, regular guy likes to scare audiences to death. As director and writer of such films as Scanners and The Dead Zone, he has tried to terrify moviegoers by exploiting their deepest fears. In Videodrome, his stylized horror produced some surrealistic effects.
I've done films that are primarily action, like Scanners, and I've done films that are primarily character, like The Dead Zone, and I've done films that are very much, you go quite deeply into special effects that have never been done before, like Videodrome. And I think in The Fly, all of these things are combined.
Now, for the first time in his career, Cronenberg has directed a picture that is not based on one of his original ideas. A remake of the horror classic, The Fly. Ironically enough, I think that the things that people will say are very Cronenberg when they see the film are in fact the things that were in the script that I was given. That was one of the great shocks, pleasant shocks that I had when I read this script. There were details of this transformation of the main character which felt like things that I could have written myself.
Oh no. What's happening to me? Am I dying?
Action!
Cronenberg has been working in the horror genre for over a decade. Through the years, he has gained the confidence and security as a director to give his actors a great deal of creative freedom.
I admire him. He's very strong. He's because he knows what he wants, and There were times when he'd say, no, this is what I want, and there were times when he was very open and saying that. So it was a real kind of collaboration that was very satisfying.
For Geena Davis, Cronenberg created a complex character, not anything like the hysterical horror heroines of the past.
There must be something we can do, you know, somebody we can go to, tests that can be done.
No! I won't be just another humorous bore.
Well, then what do you want me to do? Why did you call me?
David Cronenberg teased me about that too. He would call me the girl. He'd say, get the girl. Let's do the girl shot now. Because in a lot of those films, it is the girl. You need like the girl who comes in and goes, ah, and screams. And you need just a good screamer and somebody who can kind of look good. And
one of the things that I like about making movies is the surprises that come up. I think that at first, someone walking into the film and not knowing what it was about would really be quite surprised to see what direction it starts to develop in. What are we going to do after that? I think probably lunch.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
Those weird hairs that were growing out of your back, I had them analyzed. They were definitely not human.
I want to know what's going on. You're afraid to be destroyed and recreated, aren't you?
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
What's happening to me? Am I dying?
Oh, no.
A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone.
Don't go back to him. It could be contagious.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Help me. Please, help me. I think you're making a mistake. I think you really want to talk to me.
Sorry, I have 3 other interviews to do before this party's over.
Yeah, but they're not working on something that'll change the world as we know it.
They say they are.
Yeah, but they're lying.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
Those weird hairs that were growing out of your back, I had them analyzed. But they were definitely not human.
If you saw how scared and angry and desperate he is.
I'm sure Typhoid Mary was a very nice person, too, when you saw her socially.
No.
You're afraid to be destroyed and recreated, aren't you?
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
Oh, no. What's happening to me? Am I dying?
I want to know what's going on.
What does the disease want?
It wants to turn me into something else.
Oh, no.
A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone.
Don't go back to him. It could be contagious.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Help me. Please, help me.
Dr. Seth Brundle's brilliant invention goes horribly wrong, and two beings merge into one. The Fly, rated R, starts Friday, August 15th at theaters everywhere. When a brilliant invention goes horribly wrong.
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
All she can do is watch.
Don't go back to him.
I have to go back to him.
As he becomes the Fly.
Help me. Please help me.
Rated R. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
An unforeseen accident turns a brilliant inventor into...
Oh no. Fly.
The Fly. Rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.